Okay, the major idea for today is how to deal with algebra equations. Think of your algebra equation like a balanced scale, where on one side you have 25x and on the other side you have 15x plus 50. If you want to determine what the x is, you just remember that just like a balanced scale, is whatever you do to one side of the equation, do it to the other, and the scales will stay balanced. So for instance, what we're going to do is from each side of the equation we're going to subtract 15x. So we take 15x away from this side. If we take 15x away from this side, the scales will stay balanced. And when we do this, on this side we're left with 10x, and on this side we're left with 50. We then take each side and divide by 10, which will leave this side with just an x and this side with just a 5. So whatever we do to one side of our equation, we do it to the other and it will remain balanced. The goal is to figure out x. Okay, so here's some examples. You should pause the video and see if you could solve them on your own. Okay, let's see how you did. In the first equation, what we want to do is we want to take 3 away from each side. We subtract 3 from the one side and we get 12. We subtract 3 from the other side and we're left with just x. In the next one we want to add 3 to each side. So in this case we would have x equals 18. In the next case, to get rid of the 3, since it's multiplied, we have to divide each side by 3. And when we do that we get x equals 5. In the next example, we have the 3 on the bottom, so to get rid of it we want to multiply each side by 3, and when we do that we get a value of 45 is equal to x. When you have a square root, you get rid of it by squaring each side. Again, whatever you do to one side you do to the other, so x will turn out to be 25. And then finally, when you have x squared, you take the square root of both sides, and in this case you get x is equal to plus or minus 4. We're only worried about the positive answer, so in this case x equals 4. So when you have addition, you get rid of it with subtraction. Subtraction, you get rid of it with addition. Multiplication is undone by division. Division is reversed by multiplication. Radicals are removed by squaring both sides, and squares are eliminated by taking the square root. Okay, so there were some simple examples. What I'd like you to try next are 2 harder problems. So pause the video again, solve for x, and let's see how you do. Okay, so let's see how we would approach this. On the very first one, what we'd like to do is start out by getting rid of this 2. We get rid of the 2 by dividing each side by 2, since the 2 is multiplied by the part that has our x. We're left with 25 on one side, and on this side we're left with x plus 3 quantity squared. Next we want to get rid of the squared by taking the square root of both sides. We get a positive and negative solution. We're only going to worry about the positive one. So we get plus or minus 5. We'll use the plus. When we take the square root of this side, we just get x plus 3. We now must subtract 3 from each side, and we get x equals 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay, for this other one, we first want to get rid of this negative 22. And we get rid of the minus 22 with a positive 22 added to both sides. Okay, so then we're left with 72 equals 2x squared. Then we want to get rid of the 2, so we divide each side by 2, since the 2 is multiplied by my quantity with x. And we're left with 36 equals x squared. To get rid of the squared, we take the square root of both sides. Again, going with the positive solution, we get x is equal to 6. Okay, once you are comfortable with these types of problems, Try the worksheet that I send you and see how you make out. Good luck.